Hi teacher, how are you? Today I'm going to present and describe you the two activities or topics that made me reflect on my formation as an English teacher and on my experience as a student. Okay, the first one is elicitation or eliciting students to answer something. I remember that it was a good moment when the teacher explained again this topic because I really like elicitation, apply elicitation when I doing practicum, and also I like teachers to include elicitation on when they are teaching something for us. That's my experience as a student. When the teacher explain us again about elicitation, they provide us new techniques or new strategies inside elicitation, and I felt very happy because, for example, the teacher explaining that we really need to have a plan before elicitation because we need to think on how we are going to elicit students to provoke something, to provoke any answer, for example, through image or through movements. Another important point that I have learned with the teacher is when they explain us that we can't elicit something that is unknown for the student. For example, if the students don't know anything and we are trying to elicit, and this will be embarrassed for the students because the students don't know the answer. The student doesn't know the answer, and it will be a bad situation for him inside of the class. I connect it with my life because I remember that when I was in school and high school, most of my teachers didn't use elicitation to say or to provoke us to say any answer, and this is bad because I think that elicitation really helps us to develop critical thinking, to think on something, to think on any definition through picture, through mimics, through any kind of movements. And this is a good way because we will have better performance in the future through elicitation, because in this way we will get used to think on something, to think fast, to think very quickly, and to think with a correct structure. So that was my experience as a student because some of my teachers didn't use elicitation, and for me this is not good. But I think that this is a good factor because they had other kind of techniques, but this is other topic. Okay, in my formation as a teacher, I really like elicitation because, as I mentioned before, I like to apply this when I doing micro teachings or the practicum on any high school or school. Why? That's because I said it develops a better comprehension, it makes better thinkers on the topic. For example, when I high schools doing my practicum, I try to include picture that elicit the students to think on the answer. For example, a technique that I use, I think that this is a way to elicit, as the teacher, as you teacher explained us before. For example, to find the pairs of something with the try to connect the picture with the word. I think that this is a good way to elicit because the students see the picture, and when they see the picture they try to think on. So for example, they see a picture of a plane and they are going to think how we write plane, or how it's defined plane. For example, this is a good way to define or to use elicitation. The another, and this before to end this part, this is my experience as a teacher, and it really helped me as a formation as a teacher. Other part is checking understanding. This is very important because, as teacher Vero explained us before, checking understanding is very important because in this way we are going to check if the students are thinking or no. And I felt very happy when they give us some techniques because they explain us that we have to say to the students questions, comprehensive questions that really show that they are understanding. I connect it to my life because in my experience as a student, teachers always is asking me if I understand it through comprehension questions, and it helped me in my formation as a teacher because I know how to check understanding through questions or through filling in the gaps. And the most important part is to check that the students are doing very well the part of checking understanding, and in this way the students won't have problems in the future.